The latest Enfield update contains quite a few insane changes, one of which includes an entirely new banner. Yeah, I'm surprised as you are. And in this video, I'm going to quickly cover everything you need to know about version 1.2, also known as At the Wake of the Spring update. So, to kick things off, the developers are introducing this version as a core chapter. I guess that's because the big bad Neferith and her gang will be returning to cause some drama in our lives. But yeah, this new update introduces two new Wuling zones, one of which is called Marker Stone, which I believe also contains this massive dungeon area of the pillars we saw outside the city, so quite the trippy place to explore. And then there's also another area called, Test Area. Literally, that's the name of it. There's a lot of blight that needs to be cleared off here, and you will also encounter these core modules, who need your help with restoring this area. But as I've mentioned, Neferith will come back in a new boss form. Looks pretty cool, but I don't want to spoil it too much to be honest, although the devs did mention a bunch of new enemy types will also be added with this update. So yeah, this update already feels bigger than 1.1, and there's a lot more to it. So let's go through the events and rewards next. Alright, starting off with the permanent stuff, Umbral Monument will be updated with 2 new cycles, and same goes for Etch Space Salvage Mode. Zones 5 and 6 will be unlocked. Then, we're finally getting an event that involves the outposts, and this one is called AIC Support Palm Top Savior. In here, first of all, Wuling's stock build generation will be boosted, and there will be new formulas you can craft and submit for the event from your factory. And besides getting some builds, a unique currency called Fruits of Altruism certs will be also awarded, which can be used to exchange for event rewards. But moving over, next event called Supply Wuling Super Chef basically asks you to create specific dishes, and I feel like it's kind of the same event we already experienced not long ago with the guy in Originium Science Park. However, this next event feels like a big one, and it's called Etchings of Our Cosmic Dreams, an actual space exploration event. Not many details have been shared what type of activities this event will have, but some of the rewards includes a free copy of Perlica, which also comes with this cool picture of her in space that you can use to display on your ship. Then some display pieces will also be given away, in addition to a new photo sticker, profile, and probably a bunch more stuff. Oh, and yeah, the usual login events will also be brought back, so more free stuff I guess. Finally, the 2 new areas will also have their own events. Marker Stone will have a guide event called Subduer of the Blighted Sea. I believe you just need to explore the area to complete this event, and same goes for Curious Use of Shirenite guide event. But this one will be for the Test Area zone. Also, if you're wondering why there's no gift codes provided during the stream, well, you can simply open up Enfield now and you'll find 1,000 ore barrels with a bunch of other materials sent to your in-game mail. No need for codes. However, and this is pretty huge, everyone will be getting this special monthly pass for free called Pristine Monthly Pass Tribute, and you can see all of its rewards here. In total, this comes out to 6,000 ore barrel, 1,200 sanity, and 120 permits after you log in for a total of 30 days. So yeah, everyone gets this special monthly pass once the 1.2 update is live. Okay, time to talk about the new banners. So, the 1.2 update will contain only one new character, and it's going to be Zhuang Fangyi. I really hope I didn't butcher her name too badly. But anyway, she's a 6-star striker class unit who specializes in electric damage. Her basic attacks are made up of 5 hits, each dealing electric damage, so nothing too unusual. But when we look at the combo skill, it gets triggered when a final strike or finisher hit is landed on an enemy with electric infusion. When this happens, she actually consumes all stacks of electric infusion, and then applies electrification debuff on the enemy with the same amount of stacks. As a reminder, electrification forces enemies to take more arts damage, which is a really powerful debuff to be honest. However, here's the cool part. When triggering her battle skill, now she actually consumes electrification, and depending on how many stacks the enemy had, she will gain Sunder Blades, which is her own special resource that she uses to unleash big damage. And then finally, when it comes to the ultimate, Fangyi transforms into the Empyrean of Truth state, which basically enhances her entire kit. And for example, her battle skill now also applies electric infliction, while the combo gains bigger AoE and shorter cooldown. So yeah, she's the first premium electric DPS unit, and the devs even showcased a couple of rotations with her. It looks like this team is made up of Perlica, which makes sense. This will probably be Fangyi's best support, no doubt, but then we can also see Arknight and Alish on the team, 2 vanguards. Really interesting composition to say the least. And as we can see from this showcase, Fangyi is just quickly cycling between her combo and battle skill, while the rest of the team supports her with their combos and ultimates. So I feel like this Viceroy of Wuling will be pretty easy to pilot. But anyway, what about the banner schedule? Well, starting from Phase 1, which will be from April 17th when the update arrives until May 22nd, so for about 35 days, Zhuang Fangyi will be the featured unit, and then starting from May 14th until the next version update, this unique banner called Fest of Brilliance will be available to pull from. And get this, the devs mentioned this banner will be quite different compared to any other banner, although not many details have been shared, and they said more info is coming in the future. So this makes me wonder, perhaps the pity rate or pull rates will be better. Who knows? But yeah, as we can see, this banner features 4 units: Pogranichnik, Laevatain, Gilberta, and Ardelia. Now, I'm pretty sure everyone's eyes are set on Gilberta here. If you've seen any of my or other content creator guides, Gilberta just keeps showing up in so many team comps. She's definitely one of the better pulls. But again, we'll have to see how this banner actually works. Other than that, Fangyi's signature weapon, Lone Barge, will be available alongside her banner. We can see its 3 substats are Will, Attack, and Suppression, so if you're thinking of pulling for her, you can already start pre-farming for her weapon's essence. And then other signature weapons like Laevatain's sword will be available on the second phase. Also, since there's only one new unit in 1.2, the devs also provided a small teaser for upcoming units in future versions. And we can see one of them is Mifu, while the other 2, I don't know, sexy vampire guy and mysterious anime girl. Alright, let's talk about the new factory stuff. So there's gonna be so much new stuff added for factory management that I'm pretty sure we will need to reorganize and rebuild our bases once again. Well, at least only for Wuling region. But yeah, starting with the most important addition, a new factory area will be unlocked in the marker stone zones. So you can build more stuff now, such as this precipitation acid, which can be pumped with the new acid resistant pump Mark II. And then you have to purify this acid to obtain new materials such as heatonite and heatonite component, which allows you to create new gear. As we can see from this picture, Bone Crusher, Frontiers, and Swordmancer sets will have updated gear pieces that require these new components. But at the same time, there's also 2 new sets, one called Qingbo and the other one is Shiren Flow set. On top of that, the acid can be directed to a new expanded crucible structure, which I believe costs same materials as regular reactor crucible, but this new one can handle more liquid flows, and so you can save more space in your base. Not only that, this update also introduces the option to produce heavy Shirenite from the Forge of the Sky, and so far, the dev said it's more durable, whatever that means, but it can also be sold to the outposts. And also, you can combine heavy Shirenite with acid to produce heavy liquid Shirenite, which will be a lot more efficient at clearing blight. Also, the limit of Forge of the Sky will be raised to 8 and then 12, so a lot more Shirenite can be produced this way. Oh, and remember those underground water pipes? Now, with the new conduit manifold, you can connect more than one pipe from them. And then finally, there's a couple of new turrets that you can build and use to destroy enemies. But moving over to the map zones, in the new test area, a new facility called Purification Node can be unlocked to remove sewage from the area. Not sure if this gives stock builds or just helps with exploration, but yeah, looks interesting enough. And then there's also ornamentals, which are simply used to decorate your map zones with various items. I mean, it's a decent idea if you care about customizing your maps, and from what I understand, you can obtain these ornamentals from story missions and redistribution shop. Oh, and yeah, the most exciting part, at least for me, stock redistribution, depot, and monitoring stations will also gain new level caps, which means better stock build generation, which I am all up for. Still, I didn't really go through every single tiny detail, but as you can see, there's a ton of new stuff coming for the factory enthusiasts. And you know what they say, the factory must grow. Okay, so this leaves us finally with quality of life changes and some future version content. Now, starting with the Operator Progression Booster, this will be a permanent event where you can do a bunch of easy missions and obtain a lot of progression materials to level up your units. Anyone who already completed these missions in advance will still gain the rewards. So a pretty nice thing to have because I definitely have trouble with maxing out units. But moving over to actual quality of life changes, now you can claim everything from the Nexus with just one click. So super useful time saver. And then, recycling station materials can be claimed from the map when they are at level 4. No need to travel to them directly anymore. But probably this one's my favorite. There will be a button in the unit's gear menu where you can directly go to gear crafting menu immediately. And on top of that, you can craft the gear in batches instead. So thankfully, less clicking again. Then for those of you who have those rare Ascension material crates, you can immediately claim the required amount of materials instead of going back and forth between menus. And then I don't really understand fully what this change is, but I think you can auto-complete basic tutorials of all units and combat tutorials with just one click without needing to actually go through it. However, this one at least is super clear. Units who have a duration for their ultimate will now be displayed as a progress bar above the SP, which is super nice to have. And for you speedrunners out there, boss stages now display timers, so you can sweat on those one-shot rotations with less friction. And then going back to factory life, the conduits which transfer liquid will display their connected routes on the map, and moving them from one place to another won't break the route. Also, blueprint sharing will have clearer description by including the name of it, and mobile experience has been optimized further. Finally, more sanity usage permits will be distributed to everyone. Like, there will be an event where you can claim daily 160 sanity and 8 permits each time you log in, and spend up to 160 sanity, so basically easier to just quickly do your daily domain farming. And then protocol pass tiers will have more permits on them. But they're also changing how monthly pass works. Now it also provides 4 permits every day, and if you bought the monthly pass at least once before this update goes live, you will receive 120 permits as a compensation as well. Okay, bear with me because now I quickly want to mention future stuff that's coming for Endfield, not in 1.2 version, but sometime soon after it. So first would be bulk artificing. We all know how annoying it is right now to click each time, so this will be changed in the future soon. Then essence farming will be easier because perfect essence matches will be auto-locked, no need to check each of them one by one. Then the priority of missions will be updated, which I don't know, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but sure. And then get this, if your factory's power fails and you run out of it, there will be this option to enable emergency backup power for 1 hour, which provides unlimited power, and I think this should give enough time to fix any mistakes that occurred in your factory. And lastly, when it comes to new endgame modes, because I am pretty sure everyone's been wondering about that, well, how about some contingency contract, baby? If you haven't played OG Arknights, this might not mean much to you, but basically, this is going to be a highly difficult endgame mode, where you keep selecting harder and harder modifiers, and see if you can still beat the stages with them. Not many details have been shared, but if it's like the OG Arknights CC mode, it will probably be quite challenging. And final mention, I swear, there's also going to be some kind of 2-operator combat event, meaning you can only select 2 units to bring to the fight, which seems quite the unique idea. Man, I really hope this mode works in co-op. How cool would that be? But yeah, that's basically it when it comes to the 1.2 version and some of the future stuff that's coming later down the line. I tried my best to condense this nearly 1 hour long stream, so let me know in the comments if I missed anything. Thank you for watching this video, and I will be posting my Zhuang Fangyi guide video at the moment the update arrives, so be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks, and see you soon.